AB 1041 by Assemblymember Bennett. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1041 by Assemblymember Bennett and others, enacting to healthcare coverage.
Assemblymember Bennett, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, AB 1041 will streamline the provider credentialing process for doctors by establishing requirements that promote accountability and transparency and ease credentialing burdens on independent physicians without jeopardizing patient safety. Amendments taken in approach to address the opposition's concerns have addressed some issues, but we need to work to get the language right, and today I'm committing to do so in the Senate. AB 1041 would take important steps to improve the credentialing process. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Bennett. All debate having ceased, clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes, ayes 52, noes 2. The measure passes. File item 186, AB 1052 by Assemblymember Valencia. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1052 by Assemblymember Valencia, enacting to digital assets.
Assemblymember Valencia, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Once again, muy buenas tardes, members. AB 1052 will establish a legal framework to legitimize digital assets, also known as cryptocurrency and blockchain, and unclaimed property law. California must protect consumer assets and embrace the legal recognition of digital assets, crypto and blockchain, as we continue to modernize our economy and the systems in our society. With that, I respectfully ask for a yes vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Valencia. All debate having ceased, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes, ayes 69, noes 0. The measure passes. File item 187, AB 1067. We are going to pass temporarily on that bill. I don't see the author. I'm going to pass and retain on file item 188. Brings us to file item 189, AB 1076 by Assemblymember Addis. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1076 by Assemblymember Addis, enacting to qualified ABLE program and making an appropriation therefore.
Assemblymember Addis, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise as a former special education teacher to present AB 1076, which strengthens the CalABLE program's ability to help more individuals with disabilities save for their future. This is a support bill, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Addis. All debate having ceased, clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes, ayes 69, noes 0. The measure passes. Madam Majority Leader, you are recognized.
At the request of the author, please move file item 11, AB 1248 Haney, to the inactive file.
Clerk will note.
I move to suspend Assembly Rule 69D, the one-day wait for the author to take up file item 192, AB 1138 Zabur.
Without objection, such shall be the order. Okay, we are going to pass and retain on file item 190. Brings us to file item 191, AB 1108 by Assemblymember Hart. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1108 by Assemblymember Hart and others, enacting to local government.
Assemblymember Hart, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. AB 1108 will ensure independent medical doctors determine the circumstances, cause, and manner of death for individuals who die in custody in counties with combined sheriff coroner offices. California is one of only 3 states in the country to allow sheriffs to simultaneously serve as coroners. In 48 counties across the state, elected officials, sheriffs, are tasked with investigating all suspicious and unattended deaths, including deaths that occur in their custody. In the aftermath of a death in a jail, the same officials responsible for keeping incarcerated individuals safe are also tasked with conducting death investigations and medical examinations. AB 1108 is a targeted and modest approach to reduce conflicts of interest by requiring sheriffs to refer medical investigations to an outside medical examiner or independent coroner. AB 1108 has enjoyed bipartisan support, aims to build public trust in the integrity of investigations for in-custody deaths in counties with combined sheriff-coroner offices. Thank you, and I respectfully ask your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Hart. All debate having ceased, clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll. Tally the votes. Ayes 66, no 0. Measure passes. Everybody want to stand up and get a stretch in? Everybody stand up, a little stretch, a little breathing, a little stretch. Everybody? A little stretch. Let's go. Stretch it out. Okay, that's enough. That's enough. That's enough. Members, we are continuing on in file order. We're going to pass and retain on file item 192. That brings us to file item Okay, members, let me have some decorum, please. I stand corrected. We are not going to pass and retain on file item 192. We're going to take up file item 192, AB 1138 by Assembly Members Zabur. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1138 by Assembly Members Zabur and others, and act relating to taxation and making an appropriation therefore.
Assembly Members Zabur, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, I rise today to present AB 1138, jointly authored by Assembly Member Bryan and Assembly Member Quirk-Silva, and with our principal co-authors, Assembly Member Gibson, Senator Allen, Senator Menjivar, Senator Stern, and Senator Perez. California's iconic film and television production industry is in crisis. AB 1138 is a jobs bill, pure and simple. The hardworking men and women and the small businesses who have built an industry that is intrinsic to California's identity are experiencing depression-level eras of unemployment and loss of business as our iconic industry is being lured away to other states and other countries with better credit programs. AB 1138 is not about red carpets and premieres. It's about writers and actors and accountants, production assistants, grips, camera operators, set and lighting designers, crew, costume designers, journey persons, carpenters, and laborers. It's about helping workers who have been out of work 6 months, 9 months, 18 months, and even longer. It's about making sure that California families are able to maintain their health insurance and can avoid having to turn to unemployment benefits to pay the bills. And it's about making sure that California workers are able to stay in California and are not forced to travel to Georgia or Canada or New Mexico to work in their industry. The goal of AB 1138 is to modernize the California Film and Television Credit Program to ensure California's program is competitive and helps retain and bring back high-quality jobs. AB 1138 is the product of careful negotiation between the Entertainment Union Coalition, a multi-union alliance representing 165,000 entertainment workers, and the motion picture and television employers and other stakeholders to modernize the program. The bill, combined with Governor Newsom's proposed increase in the tax credit cap to $750 million, will bring California back from the brink. The program embodies the values of our state. It raises the base tax rate, expanding the kinds of productions that qualify. It encourages filming outside of the Los Angeles area with a higher rate that increases up to 40%, now competitive with most other states and countries. It supports independent productions by increasing funding for independent productions by 188% from $26 million to $75 million. And it lifts the cap on those productions and creates additional opportunities. And very importantly, and this is something that I'm very, very proud of because it is the benefit of what happened with the collaboration of all of the co-authors, is the bill for the first time includes an enhanced career pathway program with new incentives to bring trainees from historically disadvantaged and underrepresented communities onto California productions. The LA County Economic Development Corp found that for every tax dollar, it resulted in economic output of $24 and $101.07 in state and local tax increases. By making the California Film and TV Tax Credit Program more competitive, think of the workers and the families that we will help. I would like to thank my Republican colleagues from Palmdale and Yorba Linda, along with our co-authors for the support of 1138, and respectfully ask for your aye vote at the appropriate time.
Thank you, Assembly Members. Board members, if we could have inside voices, please. Okay, Assemblymember Bryan, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and colleagues. I rise in strong support of AB 1138. It was nearly 9 months ago when my colleague from Santa Monica and I gathered in my district to first start talking about this idea. California's film industry is pioneering for the world, and it put countless people to work. And we've seen that industry be siphoned off across this country and by jurisdictions across the world. When we talk about people leaving California, people leave California because they can't afford to live in California. They can't afford to live in California when they can't work in California. The idea that we would let this industry slip away to other jurisdictions that don't have the built infrastructure that we have all invested in for decades is insanity. They're racing to the bottom. We're racing to bring folks home and to put folks back to work. As was mentioned, this is not about red carpets or people walking down red carpets. It's about people laying red carpets. It's about the Teamster workers, the truck drivers, the IATSE workers, the folks behind the scenes who work every day to tell the creative stories that deserve to be told. These negotiations were important for California because this isn't about tax credits, it's about jobs. And what was important to me about this iteration of the film tax credit was not that we just reauthorize the same thing that we've done before, but that we modernize it, we make it more usable, we make it more attractive, and we instill career pathways for folks who have historically been unable to enter the livable wage union jobs of this industry. This is a hard-fought piece of legislation. I want to thank my colleague from Santa Monica, my colleague from Orange County, all of the members of the LA delegation, the mayor of Los Angeles, and others who have been fighting tooth and nail to get this done. California deserves this. The workers who are counting on us to put them back to work and keep California rolling deserve this, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Bryan. Assemblymember Gibson, you are recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker and members. I want to, as a proud principal co-author of Assembly Bill 1138, I want to start off by thanking my colleague from West Hollywood, for his incredible work, his incredible leadership, and his dedication, for bringing us all together, stakeholders from all around in this space, working together on this very, very important issue. Countless hours that you have spent bringing stakeholders together. As my colleague from Los Angeles said, hours, 9 months, dedicating your time and bringing and hearing and elevating every voice and making sure that every voice in this space mattered and was part and contribute in this space to making sure that relevant voices. Members, this is a game changer for Los Angeles and also for California. When the governor first made mention of the money that he projected to be part of this budget, certainly our colleague from West Hollywood went to work in this space. And not only did he go to work in this space, he made sure that he brought a strong coalition together, labor as well as lawmakers together. Lights, cameras, and action. He wanted to make sure that California and Los Angeles continue to be a leader in this space, and certainly to want to make sure that our competitors did not have a competitive edge taking over the jobs. We want to make sure that we had families remaining in Los Angeles and California. When you hear from the actors and those from in front of the screen as well as those behind the camera, and talking about how people had to spend months and years away from their loved ones and their children, and how families were displaced. This is a game changer to making sure that those families and those children are continue to be united with their families, with their fathers and their mothers as they continue to make movies. And also adding to our economy, this will allow our economy to continue to grow, and making sure that not only the costume designers, making sure the makeup artists and all that makes up this industry remains here in California, in Los Angeles, and making sure that we continue to stay a competitiveness, and making sure that California continue to, one, grow and continue to be the leader in this space. So I'm happy that we're here where we are today. And members, I think we are in a great space and that we're competitive, and I respectfully ask for an aye vote on Assembly Bill 1138, and thank everyone that had a great hand in getting us to this place.
Thank you, Assemblymember Gibson. Assemblymember Quirk Silva, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise in strong support of Assembly Bill 1138, which modernizes the California Film and Television Tax Credit Program, a proven engine of jobs and economic growth. Members, this is a jobs bill. This is about not only retaining an industry, but growing an industry that not only benefits Los Angeles, but what benefits Los Angeles benefits California. We insisted that we allowed additional independent filmmakers to be able to be part of this credit. We asked for more in this bill, but we also know it's about family. We know that many of our major movies have been lured out of California, actually internationally, from London to Canada, even locally to Las Vegas and other areas. What happens is that those entire crews move out of California, and what they do is they don't spend their money here in California. We need those dollars in California. We need those families, which not only include, of course, above the line actors and others, but it includes the multipliers, which mean caterers, which means everything from costume designers to set designers to laborers. This is a labor bill as well. We know that good paying jobs are at risk, especially in the areas of the fires. So again, I not only support this bill, it's come through our Budget Sub-5 committee, and we will continue to do everything we can to say lights, camera, action, and let's get rolling.
Thank you, Assemblymember Quirk Silva. Assemblymember Ellis, you are recognized.
Mr. Chair, thank you, and members. I've heard from a colleague regarding, and I rise in support of this bill. We had a member support the wine glass industry. We have a member supporting our film industry. And let's don't forget about refining. Let's talk about our jobs. Our jobs are crucial to this state. High-paying jobs in the film industry, high-paying jobs in the glass industry, and high-paying jobs in the refining industry. Thank you.
Thank you, Assemblymember Ellis. Assemblymember Lackey, you are recognized.
Yeah, thank you. I'm very proud to be a sponsor and a supporter of this. The strong consideration, because what's happened here in the state of California, especially in the last 10 years, it's gotten to be incredibly unfortunate. That what's happened is we got a little arrogant on this film situation. And we thought we're all that and a bag of chips, and you know what? The other states decided that they would actually compete with us. And not only would they compete with us, but they would take this industry. And that is what they're doing. They're in the process of doing that right now, everybody. This tax credit is not going to save the industry. It's just a step that will allow us to be more competitive. You know, I had about a dozen people in my district, in the desert. That's where I live, Palmdale, it's desert. But it also is very active in supporting the film industry. And the industry, I would say, supports the desert as well. But every one of those people were middle-class workers. And many of them have run out on their unemployment benefits. They made good money, past tense, because we're losing our ability to compete. Shame on us, and shame on them too, right? And it's not the legislature's fault, but we can be a partner in preventing tragic loss that will make this a ghost town. Remember what happened to Detroit? Well, that's what's happening to California in the film industry. Let's stop it. Let's do what we need to do to offer this level of support, and I'm proud of our member from West Hollywood for showing the leadership that he has. Please support this.
Thank you, Assemblymember Lackey. Assemblymember Tongipa, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I too rise in support of this bill. And what I think about what I heard today is that there's an open admission that we know what is killing jobs and killing industry in the state of California, that we are overtaxing and driving out our industry, and other states are taking advantage of that. So while I rise in support of this, and while we think about tax credits for Hollywood, I hope that this opens the door for tax credits for our farmers, for tax credits for different retail industry, for our grocers, because this bill openly admits that we recognize the problem here in California, that we are driving out our industry. So while you support this, I hope that this furthers dialogue in the future, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Tongipa. Assemblymember DeMaio, you are recognized.
I typically agree with my colleague from Central Valley and from Palmdale. I cannot pick winners and losers. We should make California prosperous for all. And it's not by giving out the gifts of tax credits to those that have influence, those that might make the best case to the politicians in Sacramento, but rather policies that will flatten the cost curve. We've talked about the cost of living in California, but it's also the cost of operating. The reason why these productions are going to Canada, to Georgia, to other parts of the country and around the world is because they cannot pencil out the production in California. It's the cost of operating. James Carville once said, it's the economy is stupid. Well, it's the cost of operating, it's the cost of living. So many of our issues get back to that fundamental problem. What we're doing today is we're saying, okay, we're going to give a small lifeline, and I actually think it's an inadequate lifeline. It's not going to save the Hollywood productions to one powerful interest group when we should be bending the cost curve across the board. What caused those productions to leave? Not the tax credits. It's the over-unionization of our economy in California. Everything defers to the benefit of organized labor. Not even to the benefit of our workers, because our workers lose the jobs. That's the whole scam of this whole nonsense, is that somehow being pro-labor is pro-worker. We're losing jobs. And a lot of times they're saying, well, we can't have the labor costs because of collective bargaining. Also regulations, whether it's state regulations or local regulations on movie productions. They're making it cost prohibitive. Nothing in this bill deals with labor costs. Nothing in the bill deals with the regulatory burden. What we are doing is we're giving this, again, tax credit to try to soften the blow of some of those bad policies. So, again, I'm always for tax relief, but I cannot vote for this bill, cannot support this bill, because it seems to favor one particular industry with influence over mom and pop businesses that also need relief in our state.
Thank you, Assemblymember DeMaio. Assemblymember Bauer Kahan, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. I rise in support of AB 1138. And that's because I agree with many of my colleagues that the cost of doing business in California needs to reflect the realities of our country and the competition across borders. And the truth is, we need to promote this work here in California. It is one of the industries that has made California what it is, and we need to continue to allow it to thrive. But I did want to rise with a few concerns that I hope will be addressed as this bill continues to move. One is that we need to make sure that if our whole state is paying the price for this tax credit, that they are all benefiting from it. And so I do hope that we will continue to focus on out-of-zone benefits, that areas outside of LA benefit from the workforce development that is here. So we have workforce development for workers across California. And it isn't just the big studios in Los Angeles that are getting the benefits of this, and that we see areas like the Central Valley and San Diego and the Bay Area creating new opportunity, new jobs, new workforce. And that a big part of that is continuing to support the independents, making sure that they are benefiting from that, putting a set aside in here to make sure that the independents are benefiting just as much. And so I appreciate the work of the author and our colleague from Los Angeles, not that that narrows it down, who is doing the bill on diversity, which I think is so critical to this as well, and will allow us to move this outside of Los Angeles. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention the R&D tax credit at this moment, because the Bay Area, like many regions in California, research and development is what makes us who we are. And that tax credit has been on hold for many years to deal with our budget deficits. But that tax credit also needs to be on the table because all of our industries need to thrive here in California so we can have a burgeoning economy. And so with that, I respectfully ask for an aye vote and for us to continue working to make business possible in California.
Thank you, Assemblymember Bauer Kahan. Assemblymember Schultz, you are recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker and colleagues. I really wasn't planning to speak today. But I have a lot, if I can break the fourth wall for a moment, Mr. Speaker, I have a lot of people watching live right at home right now. And I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to our lead author, all three of our lead authors. I rise today as a proud co-author of Assembly Bill 1138. And I simply want to say this. I know it's cost of living week for some of us here in the state capitol. Some of us are talking a lot about that issue. I would humbly submit there is no more important issue in Los Angeles, no more important issue in the 44th Assembly District than this bill right here. My colleague from Clovis referred to it as a tax break for Hollywood. I must respectfully disagree with my colleague. It's not a tax break for Hollywood. It's a tax break for blue-collar working people that fuel this industry, the people that educate and inspire and entertain around the globe. The 44th Assembly District is the proud home to Nickelodeon, Warner Brothers, Disney, and over 1,000 entertainment production companies. But it's not the companies that we should focus on. It's the people that deliver the product and the people that deliver the work. We talk so often about jobs leaving California. We talk about economic uncertainty. This is a solution that we can deliver today. And to my colleague from San Diego, I hear his comments, and all I can say, Mr. Speaker, is this. If you mean what you say, and you want to deliver an economic solution for hard-working people that for 3 years have been talking to me about the struggle to survive until 2025, who've been looking to Sacramento for a solution, then this is your moment to heed that call and to provide an answer. I strongly encourage everyone to vote yes, to vote aye on AB 1138. Let's get it done, and let's keep production rolling.
Thank you, Assemblymember Schultz. Assemblymember Alvarez, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise in support of Assembly Bill 1138. I want to specifically talk about why this matters, why this is important. We are choosing with this bill and the affirmative vote that we want to continue to maintain this important and vital industry competitive to other parts of the country here in California, and I think we should do that. We're also saying that we believe in innovation. Innovation is happening in this industry with our independent filmmakers, which are doing things a little bit differently. This bill recognizes independent film work a little bit more than before, which is why I am in support. I think that was important for me, and I appreciate the authors for their consideration of that. It also takes into consideration out of zone. This must be a benefit that is a benefit for Californians throughout the state in different regions, as was mentioned earlier by one of our colleagues. Certainly, this industry is centered around Los Angeles, and we should support that. But again, the innovation is happening in other parts of the state, and we should support that as well. That means economic development, that means growth, that means jobs, good paying jobs. And since we are also talking about tax credits in general, while this industry is certainly important, one thing that I've learned from a very urban place of California down in San Diego is that we have another industry that's really important, and that is agriculture. And I think the chairwoman of our committee would agree that tax credits to make sure that our agriculture economy also remains strong and that we can maintain our leadership role in that regard is also critical. So I believe whatever it takes to maintain California competitive, we should all be in for, and that's why I am in support of Assembly Bill 1138. Thank you.
Thank you, Assemblymember Alvarez. Assemblymember Patterson, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise in support of this measure. Initially, I had a lot of the same concerns as my colleague from San Diego. I think, there are some concerns raised about why this industry versus other industries get a tax credit. Our state has been losing massive industries over the last several decades. Biotech, which is still here, and life science is still here in California, but they've established headquarters in other places throughout the country, like Boston. Agriculture, manufacturing, aerospace, some of those industries are almost completely gone. And so I think we need to do other industries with the same earnest that we would do the important industry of Hollywood in California. But I think this is an admission that tax credits actually help incentivize businesses to come here and develop economic opportunity. I mean, we're all agreeing to that right now. And so maybe we should consider that for some other industries, and I'm supportive of this bill. And hopefully we can broaden it to other important industries like agriculture, biotech, life sciences, things like that. And with that, I ask for an aye vote on this and many future measures that will be introduced by my Democratic colleagues doing the same thing to other industries.
Thank you, Assemblymember Patterson. Assemblymember McKinner, you are recognized.
Yes, I urge you guys to support AB 1138. Just to give you a really quick personal story, bills like this, credits like this help two people coming from Orange, Texas, coming to the big city and wanted to work in Hollywood. Their name is Jackie and Edward Washington, my parents. One worked for motion picture, one worked for television, and boy, did they have a good life. They came here to Hollywood to work in Hollywood. And so this credit is about people. It's about workers. It's about jobs. This is not about the big Hollywood executives. It's about people like Jackie and Edward Washington who came to California seeking to be in Hollywood, got jobs, one for the motion picture industry, one for television. They retired in dignity. And so these are really, really good jobs, you guys, and we want to keep them right here in California. So with that, I urge an aye vote on AB 1138.
Thank you, Assemblymember McKinner. Seeing and hearing no further debate, Assemblymembers Board, do you wish to close?
So first of all, I'd just like to thank all of my joint authors, all of the colleagues and joint authors from LA and Burbank, Orange County, Pasadena, Palmdale, and so many colleagues who I've had conversations with, and that all of the joint authors have had conversations with over the last several months. What we all know is that the workers at small businesses who support our iconic industry have just suffered a quadruple whammy. First, filming and production was brought to a near standstill because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Then came the entertainment industry strike, which hit our workers again. Then came the wildfires, which devastated Los Angeles. And finally, and most importantly, other states adopted competitive programs that are luring these out of state. This is our answer to the families who are struggling, to the families that are losing health insurance, to the families who have not worked for 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, sometimes 2 years. They're waiting for us to pass this program, and I know that they will all thank you. And so with that, I'd just like to thank you and urge your aye vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Assemblymember Sporer. All debate having ceased, clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 70, noes 1. The measure passes. Well, that brings us to file item 193, AB 1145 by Assemblymember Jeff Gonzalez. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1145 by Assemblymember Jeff Gonzalez and others, and act relating to state highways.
Assemblymember Gonzalez, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Colleagues, today I rise to present AB 1145, also known as Tristan's Bill, named after Tristan Bourgeois, a native of Anza who was tragically killed by an overweight truck traveling on Highway 74 this past October. Tristan was just 27 years old, a beloved son, brother, friend, and father who leaves behind his wife and 2 young children, Kyla and Gregory. His loss has left a devastating void in the lives of everyone who knew and loved him. Highway 74 is a beautiful, yet windy and narrow stretch of road within my district, a vital corridor connecting the desert floor to the mountains, often referred to as the path from palms to pines. This road is a lifeline for countless individuals who rely on it every day to get to work, school, and other essential destinations. Unfortunately, this highway has been the site of numerous accidents, many involving large semi-trucks that should not be navigating such treacherous terrain. These oversized vehicles not only damage the road through wear and tear, such as potholes, but more critically pose a severe threat to the safety of every other driver due to their size, weight, and limited maneuverability on tight curves. Some truck drivers seeking shortcuts avoid way stations and ignore road regulations, placing convenience above safety. This disregard for rules endangers everyone on the road and demands action to prevent future tragedies. AB 1135 directs Caltrans to conduct a comprehensive safety study and report annually to the legislature. This study will examine the number of fatal and non-fatal accidents over the past decade, all 911 calls related to tire blowouts and road conditions, incidents involving semi-trucks and large commercial vehicles, vehicle code violations and the citations issued, the number of injuries and fatalities on Highway 74. Colleagues, this bill is about more than the data collection. It's about accountability, public safety, and honoring the memory of a young man whose life was taken far too soon. Let us remember Tristan, not just in name, but in action. By supporting this bill, we take a meaningful step toward creating safeguards that could save lives. No other family should have to endure the pain and loss that this family continues to carry. For Tristan, for his children, and for the safety of every driver in California, I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Jeff Gonzalez. Assemblymember Wallace, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, I rise today as a joint author of AB 1145. Highway 74 is an extremely important route for my constituents. However, in recent years, it's become an extremely dangerous route. There are far too many trucks, drivers ignoring basic speed and safety rules, and damage to the pavement from overuse. This bill will give us an important information so we can make changes to Highway 74. We should not have to lose another life full of promise like Tristan's when we could have fixed it. I ask for a strong aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Wallace. All debate having ceased, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 65, noes 0. The measure passes. Madam Majority Leader, you are recognized.
I request unanimous consent to rescind the action whereby we moved item 164 AB 568 Lackey to the inactive file today.
Without objection, the action is rescinded. The bill is ordered back to third reading. Okay, continuing on with file item 194, AB 1156 by Assemblymember Wicks. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1156 by Assemblymember Wicks, an act relating to solar use easements.
Assemblymember Wicks, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. AB 1156 updates California's solar use easement statute, permitting land under the Williamson Act with significant water constraints to transition into an easement permitting the development of a renewable energy solar project. The legislation modernizes and aligns our state's clean energy and water policy goals while providing farmers with new economic opportunities on agriculturally inhibited lands. Vitally, AB 1156 does not propose that a Williamson Act contract be rescinded or canceled, but only that it be suspended for the length of a solar project. This means if water conditions in our state change, the land can be returned to agricultural production in future years. California has ambitious goals for our environment and for our energy infrastructure. This past fall, I learned during hearings of the Select Committee on Permitting Reform just how long and hard it is to build solar energy projects, and was left with the inescapable conclusion that our state needs to do better. In fact, since our state's existing solar use easement program was established 14 years ago, data shows that only 3 projects have been permitted. We have an important renewable energy goals that aren't being met, and because our lack of available water means that whether this bill passes or not, that between 500,000 to 1 million acres of farmland will soon be fallowed. AB 1156 provides an entirely voluntary choice for impacted landowners to generate solar energy on their property, to make a healthy economic return during the length of the contract, and provide more property tax revenue for local governments. AB 1156 was heard and voted on by 3 different policy committees, and I have taken extensive amendments that have brought individual farmers, agricultural leaders, organized labor, and rural counties all onto the bill in support, including RCRC, the Almond Alliance, laborers, and many others. But I readily acknowledge that more important work needs to be done by stakeholders to collaborate and find compromise on outstanding issues of concern that remain. Specifically, I commit, if this bill moves to the Senate, to work with our wonderful Agricultural Committee chair on the following. 1, to better define what meaningful community benefits could look like. 2, to provide parameters specifying what constitutes a water constraint. And 3, to address concerns around impacts to water-inhibited prime farmland. My door has always been and will remain open. It is essential that we respect communities and landowners in this locally driven process. That is what I believe the final version of this bill will do. With that, I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Wicks. All debate having ceased, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. Strike the vote. Assemblymember Soria, you are recognized. Members, please lift your microphones high. Assemblymember Soria, you are recognized.
I know I'm a little short. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just wanted to rise. I am rising in support of AB 1156. This bill did pass the Assembly Agriculture Committee earlier. We did talk about addressing a number of issues that my colleague from Oakland today addressed, that she is committed to continue to working with our office as this bill moves along the process. So I just wanted to make sure that publicly, I know those issues have not been resolved, but we are in communication to ensure that those issues get resolved over the coming weeks. I do feel very strongly about these solar projects taking ag land in our community, taking ag land out of production, and the impact that it can create in communities like mine. Most of these solar projects will be taking place in my community, so I want to make sure that the communities that will bear the impacts have an opportunity to gain a community benefit. And so I do want to thank the author for working with our office very closely. And so today I'm happy to support, knowing that she's committed to doing that work to ensure that there's a win-win for everyone.
Thank you, Assemblymember Soria. Ms. Hadwick? Seeing and hearing no further debate, Assemblymember Wicks, do you wish to close?
Just appreciate the conversation, and we'll continue to work with our agriculture chair and respectfully ask for your aye vote.
All debate having ceased, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 57, noes 5. The measure passes. File item 195, AB 1169 by Assemblymember Jeff Gonzalez. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1169 by Assemblymember Jeff Gonzalez, an act relating to wildlife grants.
Assemblymember Gonzalez, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today to present AB 1169. This measure would help to expand the number of outdoor recreation opportunities offered to the public through the Department of Fish and Wildlife Shared Habitat Alliance for the Recreational Enhancement Program by adjusting compensation amounts to account for inflation and enjoys no opposition and unanimous bipartisan support to date. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Gonzalez. All debate having ceased, clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 70, noes 0. The measure passes. We're passed and retained on file item 196. That brings us to file item 197, AB 1242 by Assemblymember Nguyen. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1242 by Assemblymember Nguyen and others, an act relating to language access.
Assemblymember Nguyen, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. I rise to present AB 1242. This bill increases access to critical state services among Californians who have limited English proficiency. This bill has no opposition and passed both the Assembly Health and Human Services Committee with 0 no votes. I respectfully ask for your aye.
Thank you, Assemblymember Nguyen. All debate having ceased, clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 58, noes 4. The measure passes. Brings us file item 198, AB 1269 by Assemblymember Bryan. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1269 by Assemblymember Bryan and others, an act relating to county and city jails.
Assemblymember Bryan, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and colleagues. I'm here to present AB 1269. In 2016, a 36-year-old mother was taken into LAPD custody and put in a holding cell where she was found unresponsive, transported to a hospital, and pronounced dead. Her family showed up to court nearly 4 days later, having never been notified that Waukesha was no longer with us. When her mother showed up to the courtroom, there were a bunch of zeros next to her name on the docket. Still no explanation. She sat during that court hearing, no explanation. She picked up the phone and started calling every city agency she could think of for an answer. No response until one office told her, you should call the coroner. And her mother called the coroner, and that is how she found out that Waukesha Wilson, her baby girl, had lost her life in custody. If you die in a state prison, the state has 24 hours to notify the family. If you die in a jail cell or a city holding cell, there is no such requirement. For nearly 10 years, Waukesha's family has been calling for justice in her name. Nearly a third of my life, I have known Waukesha's story. And I want to be very clear, this bill doesn't bring justice. Justice would be Waukesha being here today. But what it does do is make sure that we remember her, that we say her name, and that we memorialize her tragedy by making sure that no family in California will ever be notified that a loved one has passed away in custody 4 days later by calling the coroner's office yourself. We can do better. We should do better. And if we pass this bill today, we will do better. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Bryan. Assemblymember Bauer-Cahan, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. I rise in support of AB 1269. As I've mentioned to the author, the Jewish faith has very strict rituals around death that require us to act with speed and also require us to respect the body in many ways that if this law is not followed will not be respected. And so on behalf of the Jewish community for whom this is critically important, I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Bauer Kahan. Seeing and hearing no further debate, Assemblymember Bryan, do you wish to close?
Yeah, her mother, Sheila, is watching, and her auntie, Lisa, are watching. They came to the Capitol for the first time ever to testify in the Public Safety Committee, and they brought us all to tears with their truth. I would like to bring them to tears again of joy by seeing this body unanimously support Waukesha's law, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Bryan. All debate having ceased, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes, ayes 68, no 0. The measure passes. We'll pass and retain on file item 199. That brings us to file item 200, AB 1373 by Assemblymember Soria. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1373 by Assemblymember Soria, an act relating to water.
Assemblymember Soria, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, AB 1373 increases transparency and public participation in the decisions that impact our water resources by requiring the State Water Resources Control Board, upon request, to hold a public hearing on water quality certifications for hydroelectric facilities under Section 401 of the Clean Water Act. Californians depend heavily on the management of hydroelectric facilities, not just for clean energy, but also manage water flows for irrigating our farmland, providing drinking water for our communities, controlling flooding, and protecting our environment. Despite this, the development and adoption of one of the key elements of hydroelectric facility management occurs behind closed doors. These 401 certifications under the Clean Water Act apply mandatory conditions that must be accepted without modification to continue operating these essential hydroelectric projects and can govern project operation for up to 40 or 50 years. While the current process does provide a 30-day written comment period, this is not sufficient when there are major disputes over the ramifications of the certifications. Our communities deserve the opportunity to voice their concerns directly to decision makers at a public hearing with a vote. AB 1373 creates that opportunity by requiring the State Water Resources Control Board to hold a public hearing and vote on water quality certifications for these facilities under the Section 401 of the Clean Water Act when requested by the applicant. I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Soria. All debate having ceased, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes, ayes 64, no 0. The measure passes. Brings us to file item 201, AB 1375 by Assemblymember Hoover. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1375 by Assemblymember Hoover and others, an act relating to child custody.
Assemblymember Hoover, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Human traffickers have often turned to the court system in custody disputes to further abuse and coerce their victims even after they have escaped human trafficking. AB 1375 helps protect these victims from continuing to be victimized and helps them begin to heal by not allowing that to occur and requiring that human trafficking be taken into consideration. I respectfully ask for an aye vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Assemblymember Hoover. All debate having ceased, clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes, ayes 70, no 0. The measure passes. File item 202, AB 1388 by Assemblymember Bryan. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1388 by Assemblymember Bryan, an act relating to law enforcement.
Assemblymember Bryan, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and colleagues. I rise to present AB 1388, a bill that ends the practice of police misconduct non-disclosure agreements, which work to conceal evidence of an officer's misconduct in exchange for the quiet departure from an agency, shielding them from all accountability. A recent investigation by the SF Chronicle and UC Berkeley's investigative reporting program found that at least 163 California police agencies have executed these kinds of non-disclosure agreements, and at least 297 officers and deputies have benefited from them. Essentially, these are the bad apples. the worst of the worst that you are trying to push out of the department. They have been recommended for separation. Their Board of Rights has agreed they are leaving the department, but on the way out, you get a clean record agreement that is confidential, that conceals your misconduct history. It's wrong. We can do better than that. This legislature has worked for the last decade to try to increase accountability. These kinds of officers who have been accused of sexual assault, extortion, embezzlement are a stain on the department. It is why their departments have tried to push them out. We should not be executing these in the dark, concealed, clean record agreements. And this bill will end this practice going forward. I want to thank the chair of the Public Safety Committee and our two Republican colleagues on that committee who were law enforcement officers who served with tremendous integrity for agreeing that this kind of practice should end in California, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Bryan. All debate having ceased, clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 53, noes 0. The measure passes. Ms. Schiavo. That brings us to file item 203, AB 1418 by Assemblymember Schiavo. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1418 by Assemblymember Schiavo, an act relating to public health.
Assemblymember Schiavo, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. Today I rise to present AB 1418, a bill that will enhance our understanding of healthcare work trends across our state by gaining a clearer picture of who has access to health coverage and who may be falling through the cracks. We can make meaningful steps to close the gaps and create a more equitable system for healthcare workers who are certainly deserving of healthcare as they provide it to us and our families and our communities. This bill passed with bipartisan support and no votes. Respectfully request an aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Schiavo. All debate having ceased, clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 61, noes 0. The measure passes. That brings us to file item 204. Mr. Bryan. AB 1455 by Assemblymember Bryan. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1455 by Assemblymember Bryan, an act relating to state government.
Assemblymember Bryan, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and colleagues. I rise to present another fantastic bill, AB 1455, a bill that will require the State Board of Forestry and Fire Protection to adopt emergency regulations to implement defensible space requirements for an ember-resistant zone known as Zone 0. This bill builds on our wildfire prevention package that we've put together in the Natural Resources Committee, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Bryan. All debate having ceased, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 60, noes 1. Measure passes. Continuing on to file item 205, AB 1457 by Assemblymember Bryan. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1457 by Assemblymember Bryan, an act relating to fire protection.
Assemblymember Bryan, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and colleagues. I rise again with another fantastic bill, AB 1457, a bill which requires CAL FIRE's Defensible Space and Home Hardening Training Program to additionally provide training consistent with the State Fire Marshal's Home Ignition Zone and Defensible Space Inspector Course Plan. It's another one of our wildfire prevention bills that we've put together in the Natural Resources Committee. It has had bipartisan support, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Bryan. All debate having ceased, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 66, noes 0. The measure passes. I'm going to pass and retain on file items 206, 07, 08. That brings us to file item 209, AB 432 by Assemblymember Bauer-Cahan. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 432 by Assemblymember Bauer-Cahan and others, an act relating to menopause.
Assemblymember Bauer-Cahan, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. It is a privilege to present AB 432, the Menopause Equity Act. This bill is past its time. It does two incredibly important things. It ensures that the insurance plans are covering menopause care of all kinds because we are understudied and not understood, and so many of the treatments we have to have are not on label, and so many are not covered. In addition, the bill ensures that all relevant docs who treat our whole health system, from neurologists to cardiologists to OBGYNs, are trained to treat us as we go through the menopausal transition. So to all the men and women on this floor who love a woman or are a woman, you know that this is a critical time to make sure we are getting whole health care so that we are able to thrive and succeed and have the lives that we deserve as we transition into our later years. With that, I respectfully ask for your aye vote on AB 432.
Thank you, Assemblymember Bauer-Kahan. Assemblymember Patterson, just a moment. Members, quorum, please. Assemblymember Patterson, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. First of all, I'm not a woman, but I do love a woman. But actually, I think this is a very important topic. I've had conversations with a few of you about this. This happens to deal with one gender, and it's very important that we do that. But as people get older, men and women, our health system is really not equipped to deal with our hormonal changes at all. In fact, as you're going through these changes, which have all sorts of impacts on the quality of life, whether you're gaining weight, all those kinds of things, go ask your physician about some of these things. And the author is correct that our system just isn't set up for that. By the way, when I ran for the legislature, I didn't think I would be speaking in support of a menopause bill, but today I'm happy to rise in support of it. And don't forget about andropause as we move on.
Thank you, Assemblymember Patterson. Assemblymember Jackson, you are recognized.
I just want to thank the member. It's such an important bill. And I want to make sure everyone takes this as seriously as it deserves. Women need all the support and the policies that go with it, and we should be united in making sure that these things are taken care of. I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
I don't believe you asked if it could use a prop, Mr. Jackson. Seeing and hearing no further debate, Assemblymember Bauer-Kahan, do you wish to close?
Thank you. I want to express my gratitude for those who spoke in support that don't have ovaries and will not go through menopause, but understand the value of treating those of us that will go through the transition and our whole health. And I want to give a special shout out to the member from Menlo Park who worked incredibly hard to make sure that we as women get the training that the doctors need to treat us, because personally, I had to go to 3 doctors before one would talk to me about menopause and the care I needed. And I know I am not alone in that story here or in the state of California. We will be the first state in the nation that has doctors that are adequately trained to treat us as we age. So with that, I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Bauer-Kahan. All debate having ceased, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Roll is still open. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 64, noes 1. Measure passes.